Today I am comparing the Roland LX-9 and the Kawai CA901. This is both the top of the line models, true comparison. Stick around. Hi, Ted Barcelou with Alamo Piano Galleries. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And if you have any questions or comments about this video or any other one, go ahead and leave it below. We'd like to interact with you and maybe come up with some answers. Also, if you haven't already, check our online store at alamopianogalleries.com. There's a lot of information on both Kawai and Roland product. And today, like I said, Roland and Kawai. I'm comparing the LX-9, which is their top-of-the-line Roland upright piano, and the Kawai Concert Artist 901 model, which is their upright piano featuring a soundboard in the back. Both of these are really, really competitive pianos, and they each offer, believe it or not, exactly the same thing in a different way, which is what makes this comparison really, really unique, because the products, the end goal is the same, but the way they get there is different, and it's kind of exciting to talk about. The LX-9 features a piano reality modeling system, is the name of the sound tone generator that Roland's come up with, as opposed to the old one was called the pure acoustic piano modeling. This is called piano reality modeling, and also their action is called, the type of sound system is piano reality projection, and I'll talk a little bit more about that when we get there. Also, their action is the progressive hammer action 100, which is supposedly a little bit different from the 50. I believe that the hammer key is longer. I don't know a lot of the details on the PHA 100 hybrid action that Roland has. I'm more familiar with the Grand Piano Grand Feel 3 wooden action from Kawai, because I have a Kawai CA901 at home. That doesn't mean I'm going to be more partial to that in this video. I'll try not to let it. But the CA901 is a lovely instrument. It is, I've said this before and I'll say it again, it is the most hybrid of all hybrid digital pianos. It has a very, very realistic grand feel action in it. It feels exactly like playing a grand piano or an extremely high quality upright piano. It also has the sound of a 9-foot SKEX concert grand piano. That sound is projected through an amplifier system that includes the speaker board in the back. And the soundboard speaker system from Kawai adds a level of realism to playing, because the entire instrument vibrates just like a real acoustic piano. You can feel it in the pedals, through your shoe and your foot, and also through the keys. The Roland does that based on resonance and volume as well. It also has a haptic, so you can control how much it vibrates, how little or none at all. So that's an added reality feature that you get only on the LX-9. The other models do not have that. And also, when we recorded both of these demonstrations and little samples of playing here, we were plugged it directly into the sound card. And my favorite sound on the 901 is the sound that came new with that model. It is the Competition Grand. It is, I think, one of the best recorded and usable grand piano sounds on the market. I've heard so many great things about all of the sounds of all of the pianos that are in the 901 that they thought, someone actually told me they should sell it in a software package or give it away so people will use it, because finally, instead of having all these cheesy sounds, people could have access to a really, really great sound, knowing that it would be a Kawai sound. That's a marketing idea. I think it's pretty hefty. Let's have a listen to these two things, because they both have around 40 sounds in it, but the Roland has 4 acoustic pianos, and those 4 pianos feature limitless polyphony. You can play as many notes as you want, have the pedal sustain, even dissonant notes and even ugly sounds, just like you can get on an acoustic piano by holding down, keeping the harp open, holding down the sustain pedal. You can only do that up to a certain limit of 256 K polyphony and then you have to split that into the stereo sample. So you're kind of limited on the number of keys you can have sounding at one time on the Kawai. But let's have a listen to both of these. The reason I wanted to point out that detail about how we recorded the sound is because what you're hearing in the video is probably a great rendition of what the sound card sounds like. It is not what these pianos sound like in a room. And that is what they are designed and built for, being in a room. The Roland system has 4 different amplifier sections, and each one has 2 speakers with it. And part of that is designed based on the resonance and the larger lower mid cabinet. It's actually a box, like a speaker box, and the wood does vibrate. And it's got 233 watt amps that are driving it. And then they have 21 watt amps in their mids, in their center spotted, or whatever they call focus sound, which is kind of behind the music rack. And then they also have matching speakers that gradually, they go from like about a 12-inch woofer, and it keeps getting a little bit smaller when they go to the mid-range, upper mid-range, and then the tweeters are lined along the top. The Kawai, on the other hand, that soundboard in the back puts out about 60% of the overall sound that you hear when you hear a piano. It also has a top you can open up, and it has like tweeters in there that are lined up, and then it has mid-range speakers kind of behind where the music desk is at. The sounds and playing of both of the Kawai and the Roland manufactured instruments they're really, really decent to play in a room next to one another, or facing one another, or where you have access to one and the other. The overall consensus is that a lot of people tend to favor the Roland. I think it's because the sound is spread out more. The cabinet is literally bigger, and this sound is dispersed almost like through the whole square, just like it would be on an acoustic piano. That is true of the CA901, but it is a little bit smaller of a box. It's also a thinner of a box, even though it does have the soundboard in it. I give that a lot of credence. What I also like is that both of these pianos, and most all digital pianos now, for the most part, they come with 3 pedals. They're 3 functioning pedals, including a sostenuto, and sometimes you can assign them to to do different things, particularly the sostenuto pedal, which is the one in the middle. I don't know too many people that would use the sostenuto pedal on a digital piano. I really enjoy a sostenuto pedal on a grand piano when I'm tuning it, because I think that's the real reason why the thing was invented, because you can leave just that one key open, the rest of the harp is closed, and it's real easy to pull in your unisons. I notice that when I tune uprights, it's a lot more work having to hold the keys down. If you have questions or comments, or you have a preference, let us know. If you have not been able to play an LX9 or a CA901, please come into one of the stores, find a store that has both of them, and come in and play them side by side, compare one to the other, and see which one you decide. Because the LX9 was not available when the CA901 was sent over to my apartment, but at the same time, I have really, really enjoyed that CA901. I feel like I'm playing a real piano. I get real exercise, real workouts. All my scales, arpeggios. I haven't been doing it a lot lately. I've just mostly been trying to fool around, playing with chops and come up with song ideas. But for the most part, they're both great pianos to do all of your scales, all your arpeggios, all of your hand-in exercises, and anything classical is great to practice on. And then you have the thrill of going out and finding like a harpsichord sound in either one of them, or a different organ sound, or whatever the piece you're working on. So they do come with extra sounds, and both of them put out great sounds. I will say that there's a different, unique experience coming from a digital pianist perspective with the unlimited polyphony. With the Roland, that tends to make a lot of people favor that. We have had a lot of music schools and teachers coming in. The other reason why they would favor the Roland is their 10-year warranty that has complete parts and labor, and it's on site for 10 years. So they will come to your place and fix your repair. And the Kawai has a somewhat limited 5-year warranty. Parts and service are included, and there's a limit on the labor. And I think if you're abusive, neither one of them really work. So I don't know if, put one of these into a rough venue, if they get spilled on and stuff like that, how much of that really is covered. I wouldn't want to find out. Years ago, we had to put special plastic lining into some of the Yamaha uprights that were digitals back in the 90s, because they were in bars where beer got spilt into the piano by the patrons, not just the players. And so we had to line it all in plastic and kind of beer-proof it. Anyway, interesting stories about digital pianos. If you have them, please let us know. Meanwhile, let me know your thoughts on comparing the LX-9 from Roland and the CA901 from Kawai as your choice of digital piano. Let us know, and we'll be looking for you next time. Thank you so much for watching Alamo Piano Galleries. This is Ted Barsalou, and we'll be looking for you in the future. Thank you so much.